afternoon. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care. So if you're into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel and clicking the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So today's video is a little different. Let's talk about Chanel. I know you guys have probably heard, maybe you haven't heard, maybe you don't follow news, maybe you're not into fashion, or maybe you're not that into fashion to know what is going on. Chanel is now going to be releasing, debuting, and opening up stores in Asia or China, of course, in April of 2023 as VIP boutiques and stores. So let's talk about it. Okay, so are you rich enough, or are you one of their premier clients that is going to have access to this VIP store? And I'm probably going to have a very unpopular opinion, which I will give you at the end of this video, but more than likely, no. If you are someone like me, if you are someone who was in middle upper class America, probably not. We're talking about people who are spending thousands upon thousands, sometimes even in one sitting, hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? We're talking about someone, and this is like no shade to influencers, people who buy the shoes and the purses and things like that. This is not going to be, or these stores are not going to be for clients or customers who are just buying shoes here, a purse there, some jewelry there, a brooch there. This is going to be someone who is also into ready wear. This is someone who is vested in the company, and they do the ready to wear. They buy all of it, okay? They buy their fine jewelry, they buy all of it. You're going to have to spend money to be able to have access to one of these stores or to get an invitation. Think Beyonce, Rihanna, think heiresses, think about royalty, think about people who have money, okay? Now let's kind of discuss how we got here, because as we all know, we are still, I know some people are not feeling the effects, but a lot of people are, but we are still dealing with COVID. We are still dealing with pandemic. We're getting ready to have, we already have inflation, and a lot of experts are saying that we are getting ready to go into a recession. So let's talk about how we got here. So in 2021, Chanel made $15.8 billion, okay? That is actually more than pre-pandemic, okay? So let's talk about how they got to that number. And it might surprise you, because actually beauty and fragrance kind of took a back seat. What really gave them that revenue was the jewelry, the watches, and the ready-to-wear, okay? How? Of course, we all know that in 2021, Chanel, when it came to like their most coveted pieces, had 3 price increases. And then in the beginning of this year, in 2022, they also had another price increase. And there are experts who say that something like a single flap, let's take a classic caviar medium single flap with gold hardware, it actually costs you double after the pandemic than it would have prior to the pandemic. And we've been coming up on 2.5, coming up on 3 years now, okay? So as far as the stores are concerned, like I said, they're going to start opening in Asia, which makes sense, in China, April of 2023. That is where a lot of your tech and where a lot of your millionaires are being created every single day. They have the dollar, okay? They have the money to spend, all right? So let's talk about, or I guess let me give my opinion, or let me give, I guess, kind of like my questions as where this is going to lead. First of all, let me say this. I like Chanel. Y'all know that a single flap or double flap, caviar, gold hardware, medium flap is on my wish list. I've actually moved it over to the Diana, still in caviar. That's really all that I want from the brand. If I am looking for pieces that are classic, if I'm looking for a piece of ready-to-wear to add to my closet, more than likely, if it's on the edgier side, it's going to be YSL. If it's going to be more on the classic side, something that will stand the test of time, for me personally, it's going to be Dior. When I get to that status, because I feel as though that I have already arrived in my corporate career, we live a very comfortable life. When I arrive to that level, Dior will be coming to my house, not Chanel. For me, it'll be Dior, okay? So I won't say that I don't care, but I don't care. Like, I don't really foresee, even when I'm older, I really don't foresee myself being a VIP Chanel client, and I'm okay with that. But I think, and again, this is an unpopular opinion, I think the reason why people are kind of up in arms about it, or why people are trying to feel like this is discriminatory or it's kind of like elitist, is because it's being announced. If you don't know, or if you're not like in the luxury realm, or if you don't care, there are plenty of stores, there are plenty of fashion houses that have quote unquote VIP stores, invitation only, or you just know if you know because you have that kind of money. I think what's rubbing people the wrong way is that Chanel is actually announcing it, and the fact that there is going to be a store that you're not going to be able to go into, okay? So here are a few points and takeaways that I have, and a few questions and just a few comments, okay? The first one is that when it comes to, I guess, elitist or elitism, I think some people feel as though that when they walk into a regular Chanel store, it's going to kind of feel like an outlet or a lesser store. When really, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, spending $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 on a bag, a majority of the world cannot do that, okay? You are very blessed if you can spend $5,000 on a handbag. So I think some people are a little anxious or a little bit worried because they feel as though if they walk into a regular Chanel store, they're not going to be treated the same way, which kind of segues into my next point. If I'm spending thousands upon thousands of hundreds of dollars, and this is not to sound conceited or rude or, again, elitist, if I'm spending $100,000 on a store, I don't want to wait in line. And people who have that type of money, I'm pretty sure that's how they feel. I'm pretty sure that's how Chanel feels. And to be quite honest, this whole thing about waiting in line or walking up to a Chanel store or any luxury house and seeing a line, if you think about it, it's not really luxury. Like, there's a reason why VIPs don't wait in line and just skip the line, or they just walk right in. Part of the luxury experience is completely skipping the line, or there not being any line, or some type of exclusivity. And I think that's where Chanel is trying to take it, because since COVID, a lot of houses have actually moved to appointment only, or have moved to appointment slots, which I personally think is not going anywhere, and I don't think they're going to lose any revenue from it. But it's just not a luxurious experience if you have to wait in line, okay? And then you walk into the store and it is very crowded, especially during COVID. I know people were talking about how a lot of people, either they have the essays come to them and show them the pieces, or they have someone go in the store and it's just crowded. You have people in there just trying things on and not buying anything. And that's not to say that when you walk into a store, you're supposed to buy something. But at the same time, though, at that type of store, when you walk in, you're not expected to buy something, but when you walk in and you ask for something, you ask to try it on, and then you ask to try something else on, and then you ask to try something else on, and then you say, okay, thank you, but not today, and then you just kind of walk out. It's kind of like, okay, well, why did you come in? I know the thing for me is quality and customer service, okay? I have not bought a Chanel purse since 2014. It was silver hardware, it's a mini square, and I bought it in Florida. The price on that back in 2014 was $2,999. By the time we added up tax, I think it was like $3,200, okay? You will probably never find, even on the pre-loved market for a Chanel flap that has been through some things, you will probably never find a Chanel purse at that price again, okay? So I had not bought a Chanel bag since 2014. My bag is fine, it has held up. But you will hear every single day there is someone else talking about the quality of Chanel. And again, like I said, we've had 3 price increases in 2021, and we just had one in 2022. For me, it's not necessarily the quality, because like I said, I haven't bought a Chanel purse in a long time. For me, it's the customer service, okay? I've had 2 situations. The first one was in 2017 when I was on an assignment in Indiana. We always used to travel to Chicago to go to Magnificent Mile. Mind you, I was carrying the Chanel bag. No acknowledgement whatsoever. Not a hi, hello, what are you looking for? We're busy, but we'll be with you in a moment. And then after that, I was in Atlanta visiting a friend. We went to Phipps Plaza. I was not carrying a Chanel purse. I was dressed. You know, they always say you should be dressed when you walk into a boutique or when you walk into a luxury store. Again, no acknowledgement. No, hi, how are you? How are you doing? We'll be right with you. And both of these times, the stores, they were not crowded. The SAs were helping someone, but the stores were not crowded to the point where they couldn't acknowledge me or they couldn't see me walk in. My goodness, are they still gonna have practice? Anyway, customer service. When I walk into a store, and this is not just for a Chanel or a luxury house, this is just in general, especially with customer service. When I walk into a store, I would like to be at least acknowledged. A hi, how are you? I'm not one of those shoppers where you need to follow me or where you need to be asking me every 5 minutes, am I okay? But some acknowledgement, or maybe tell me about the sales, or tell me, you know, my name is so and so. If you have any questions or if you want me to pull something, let me know. I mean, it just kind of gave me this feeling of I wasn't welcome, or I shouldn't be in there, which when I was younger, I probably would have felt like that. But now that I'm older, when I walk into a store, I just walk into a store. I'm supposed to be there. I have the money. I'm ready to spend it. But at the same time, though, Chanel needs to work on their customer service. And I think for a lot of people, they feel as though that the VIP store is where the customer service is going to be, okay? Which kind of brings me to my next point. I know that e-commerce is all the rage, but I know for me personally, I love walking into a store, trying things on, talking to people, building a rapport with this SA, feeling the fabric, seeing how it feels on me. I've always loved that experience, and maybe it comes from that has been one of my mother's and I's pastime or bonding time. We would just make a day of shopping, but I love walking into a store and just being pampered or just looking at the pieces and trying them on. And that way, if I don't like something or if I need another size, it's right there. And I don't have to go through this whole online return process. Okay, two other points that I kind of want to bring up really quickly. And the first one, because I know some people are probably asking or wondering, the first one is that, is Chanel trying to gain their exclusivity back? And I'm going to say yes. If you go on Chanel's website, you will notice that like very small things, or like beauty and maybe like their tissues and things like that, or something small like a pair of earrings, you can purchase that e-commerce. You can purchase them on their website. You will notice that shoes, scarves, ready to wear, in bags, you cannot. So if you click on the bag and it will say contact an advisor or find it in store, you physically have to go into the store to purchase these things. And all of the articles that I was reading, the creative director said as far as e-commerce is concerned, as far as buying like their pieces, their ready to wear, their resorts, their collections, that will probably never happen. He wants to bring people back into the store. He wants them to get a full experience. And with the type of money that they're going to be spending on these VIP boutiques, it only makes sense. Do I think that Chanel wants, like, quote unquote, the average person walking around with one of their bags or walking around with their ready to wear pieces? The average person cannot spend $50,000 on a suit. So for Chanel to say that they don't want, that type of person or the masses to be wearing their pieces, the masses are not going to be wearing your pieces. As a matter of fact, even though I understand that I live in the Carolinas and I don't live in like New York or Florida or Miami, or I don't live in LA, the chances of you walking around with a Chanel bag and then you seeing 5 other women with a Chanel bag, really anywhere, even in New York, you're not really going to see that. So for Chanel to kind of say, well, we don't want the masses, which I know that's like really like the undertone statement, like the kind of unsaid statement. So for them to say that out loud, I don't think that would be, proper. It's kind of like an understood thing. And then the next thing is Chanel trying to rival with Hermes? I will say yes. But Chanel has to fix their quality. If you are going to go up against a company like Hermes, you have to fix your quality. it seems like their answer to focusing on quality is really talking about or thinking about the dollar. I don't really think at this point they're worried about the quality, because if an essay from Chanel, or if the COO or the CEO or the creative director were to get on YouTube, if they were to get on Purse Bop, if they were to get on Instagram, they would see all of the complaints about the quality issues with the bag. Because like I said before, spending $5,000, $8,000 on a bag, the average person still cannot do that. So quality still needs to be on the top of the mind when it comes to a bag at that price point. But if Chanel is trying to rival Hermes, they have a lot of work to do, okay? The average classic flap now, medium, because that's the most popular size, is probably anywhere from a good $8,000 to $11,000. In store, the Hermes Birkin and the Kelly, I still think are anywhere from about $9,500 to $11,000. It might even not be at $11,000, but the quality is there in pictures, in videos, on TikToks, on Snapchat, Twitter, whatever. Even when you're walking down the street, or even when you're photographing or videotaping a Hermes Birkin, you see the quality, okay? If Chanel is going to put themselves on an even playing field with Hermes, they have to fix their quality, okay? So one thing I will say that is good about this, Chanel will be hiring about 3,500 people, mostly SAs, to get this whole thing started. So I will say that probably for the economy and probably for families out there, it's going to be another source of their livelihood, or another source for them to make money. But as far as like the Chanel VIP stores, like you heard me say earlier, I probably will never be a Chanel client or a Chanel VIP client, so I can understand people's hesitation. I can understand why they would feel as though it's discriminatory and elitist. But for me, honestly, I don't care. Here in the near future, I will probably get maybe a brooch, maybe some earrings if I see them, and, you know, a double flap. I want a beige one and I want a black one. If they come out with like the world's most gorgeous color, I might. But it's not going to, you know, affect me like it might affect a Chanel lover, okay? But those are my thoughts. Those are my points. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I just want to remind you that here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And of course, you know, right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.